Rain poured down on the sleepy little town of Cedar Creek that morning, painting the streets in shades of silver and gray. Inside a small corner cafe, a young single mother named Emily Carter sat by the window, hands wrapped around a steaming cup of coffee. Her eyes were tired. Those deep hazel eyes that once sparkled with hope now carried the weight of endless nights, unpaid bills, and quiet prayers whispered when her little daughter Lily was asleep. Emily worked 2 jobs. One as a cashier at the grocery store, another cleaning offices late at night. Every day was a battle, but she kept smiling for Lily. "Mummy's strong," she'd say, even when her heart was breaking. That morning her wallet was thin, yet she had promised herself a small treat, a single cup of coffee to start her shift. Just as she reached for her cup, the door of the cafe opened, and a tall man walked in drenched from the rain. His clothes were simple but neat, his shoes covered in mud from the storm. He stood at the counter, fumbling through his pockets, realizing he had no cash. The barista frowned impatiently. Emily watched quietly, her motherly instincts kicking in. He looked embarrassed, his voice soft. "I'll just leave it then," he said, turning toward the door. Without thinking twice, Emily stood up and called out, "Wait, I'll pay for it." The man turned, surprised. No, I can't let you do that." Emily smiled kindly. "It's just a coffee. We all have rough mornings." She handed the barista a few crumpled dollars, almost all she had left for the day, and told her to make it black with no sugar. The man nodded gratefully. "Thank you, I don't know what to say." "You don't need to," Emily replied. "Just pass it on someday." They shared a brief smile before she hurried off to work, not realizing that her small act of kindness had just set in motion a miracle she could never have imagined. That night, as Emily tucked Lily into bed in their tiny, drafty house, she whispered her usual prayer. "Thank you for one more day, Lord. Maybe things will turn around soon." The wind howled through the cracks in the windows. She didn't know how she'd pay the electricity bill due tomorrow. She kissed Lily's forehead, turned off the flickering lamp, and sat by the window, watching raindrops race down the glass. Her life felt small, invisible, but she found comfort in believing that kindness still mattered, even when no one saw it. The next morning the town woke to the sound of thunder, but this time it wasn't from the sky. It was from rotor blades. Loud, powerful, echoing through the quiet neighborhood. Emily, half-dressed for her morning shift, ran outside clutching Lily in her arms. A helicopter, sleek, black, and shining, hovered above her little front yard, sending leaves and dust swirling in every direction. Her neighbors peeked from behind their curtains, phones in hand. "What on earth?" she whispered. Then the door of the helicopter opened, and the same man from the cafe stepped out, but he wasn't dressed in muddy clothes anymore. Now he wore a tailored suit, polished shoes, and an earpiece. Behind him, 2 more men stepped out, carrying briefcases. Emily's heart raced. "You," she gasped. "What are you doing here?" The man smiled gently, his expression full of warmth. "Good morning, Emily," he said, his voice steady over the roar of the blades. "You probably don't remember much about me. My name is Ethan Williams. Yesterday, you paid for my coffee. You didn't know who I was." Emily frowned in confusion. "I just thought you needed help." Ethan nodded. "And you gave it without expecting anything. That means more than you can imagine." He gestured to his team, and one of the men handed him a folder. "I own a foundation," Ethan continued. "We help single parents who are struggling to make ends meet. You could have walked past me, but you didn't. You helped a stranger without thinking twice, and that's the kind of heart I look for." Emily stood frozen, unable to process what was happening. "I don't understand," she said softly. Ethan smiled. "You will." He opened the folder and showed her a set of documents, the deed to a new house, a check for $50,000, and a letter of employment offering her a full-time administrative position at his company with benefits and flexible hours so she could take care of Lily. Her mouth fell open. "This can't be real." "It's as real as that coffee you bought me," Ethan said gently. "You reminded me that kindness still exists. I wanted to remind you that good things still happen to good people." Tears welled up in Emily's eyes. Lily tugged on her sleeve and whispered, "Mommy, are we rich now?" The crowd around them chuckled softly. Emily knelt down, hugged her daughter tight, and whispered, "We're blessed, sweetheart. We're blessed." The media soon caught wind of the story. Cameras and reporters surrounded their small house, broadcasting Emily's kindness across the country. But Emily didn't care about fame. All she wanted was a stable life for her daughter and a chance to breathe again. That night, as she sat in her living room, Ethan visited one last time before flying back. "You didn't have to do all this," Emily said, tears in her eyes. "I just bought you a coffee." Ethan smiled. "And I just changed your life. Seems fair." They laughed softly, both understanding the beauty of that simple moment. Before leaving, Ethan handed her a small card. "If you ever need anything, call me. But more importantly, keep being you. The world needs more Emilys." When the helicopter lifted off into the twilight sky, Emily stood there holding Lily's hand, wind whipping through her hair. She looked up and whispered, "Thank you." The camera fades as the helicopter disappears beyond the clouds, leaving behind a story that the entire town, and soon, the entire internet, would talk about for years. "Sometimes," Emily said in her soft narration voice, "cup of coffee isn't just a drink. It's the start of a miracle." Moral: never underestimate the power of a small act of kindness. It might just change your life forever.